What's up, guys? This is Joe from Analog Archive, back with another vinyl video. Today's video is going to be my first contribution to the Blue Note 1500 series project that was started by Steven in the bass clef. This is, I think, maybe the probably 10th to 12th video that's been made so far. We're up to Blue Note 1523, which is introducing Kenny Burrell. If you have not seen the other videos, I have the playlist in my on my channel, but you can also check it out on Stephen in the Bass Clef's channel to kind of see what other albums have been shown so far. So this is Blue Note 1523, introducing Kenny Burrell, and as the title kind of says, this is the first Kenny Burrell record on Blue Note where he's a leader. He had worked with Thad Jones on Blue Note 1513, the Detroit New York Junction, a great record that actually Steven had shown just a few weeks ago. But yeah, his first album as a leader. So he's on guitar. You've got Tommy Flanagan on piano, Paul Chambers on bass, Kenny Clark on the drums, and then you've got Candido on the conga drum. And one thing that I've noticed with Kenny Burrell is a lot of his albums do have or it's not uncommon for him to have like a conga or some other type of percussion instrument on it. I know that Midnight Blue, which was a later Blue Note album in the 4100 series, has Candido on it as well. Gives it a much more Latin feel, which I think really lends well with what Kenny Burrell's tone and sound kind of goes to. There are 7 tracks that are on the album. Before we get into the tracks, this album was recorded in May of 1956, and then it came out that same September 1956. So pretty quick turnaround. And as I said, there's the 7 tracks. The first one is This Time the Dream's on Me. That is a Harold Arlen and Johnny Mercer tune. And it's a real more fast-moving tempo, and it's got this really bluesy kind of sound to it. Great Kenny Burrell playing on that one, along with great accompaniment by Candido, especially on conga, but Tommy Flanagan also is great on that one. We get into the second track, which is Fugan Blues, which is a Kenny Burrell original. It starts with Paul Chambers on the bass, and it's actually not the only song where Paul Chambers kind of is the introduction to the song. Once that happens, Tommy Flanagan then comes in, and then it's Kenny Burrell, and quickly the tempo kind of starts to pick up a little bit. It becomes kind of like a more mid-tempo track, but just a really great one overall. Really great tone as well with Kenny Burrell. You always know when you hear him that it's kind of his tone. He had a very unique tone to his guitar playing. So real great track overall with that one. And then the third track is Tequila, and alternate. It's not spelled like tequila, the drink, but that one's also a Kenny Burrell original. That one has a very quick tempo to it. It's also a very short song as well. It's one of the shortest songs. It's a little over 4 minutes long, and just a really lightning fast Kenny Burrell playing. It really shows off his talent, and especially on his first record, to kind of come right out the gate and really impress from the beginning. You could really see that he was quickly becoming a star. The liner notes that are on the back that were done by Leonard Feather had said that he did not have a lot of formal training, that he was only he had some kind of classical guitar training in the early 50s, but really did not have any actual study of or any kind of lessons that came with the guitar. He just kind of learned as he went, being on other sessions, but also just watching other players, other guitar players at the time, kind of just seeing what they're able to do, and then him being able to kind of mimic that. So really incredible talent that's definitely shown on that third track, Tequila. You then get to Weaver of Dreams, which is the closing song on the A side. That is a Jack Elliott and Victor Young track. That's probably the slowest track on the album. A very very slow tempo ballad, which is really, you can hear where Kenny's going or where he's going to be going. You hear a lot of similarities with tracks like Midnight Blue, the album I talked about at the beginning, and the 4100 series that was recorded probably maybe 7 years after this, 6-7 years after this. You hear that real melodic, a lot of chords, which was another kind of trademark of Kenny Burrell as kind of he's on these albums. So, but just really great track as well, a great way to end it with a nice ballad, and really elegant piano playing as well by Tommy Flanagan on that track as well. And I was really impressed with his sound on this. I don't have a lot of albums with Tommy Flanagan on it, but this album, really great playing. And I am familiar with him. It's just the fact that I don't have any albums or many albums with him on that. So yeah, that was the end of the A side, and then the opening song of the B side is called Delilah. That is a Victor Young original, so half of the Weaver of Dreams, when they composed Weaver of Dreams, that's the same Victor Young for Delilah. That has a much more Latin feel to it. Probably one of the only tracks that really does have that more Latin, Central American kind of sound to it. Candido starts that with a very kind of percussive slapping of the conga, and that kind of continues for quite a while into the song. And then Kenny Burrell comes in, plays again real well. But yeah, just a very Latin feel, a real nice contrast to the other songs that are on the album. You then get to it would be let me think actually, which I can see what's on the back, but let me just check something quick. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, the next track, even though it's not really shown like that on the back, is a song called Rhythm Rama, and it is a duo track with it only features Candido and Kenny Clark on the drums. So it's mainly just Candido on the conga, just kind of his time to really express what he needs to, and then Kenny Clark is kind of there to back him up. He has a little bit of a little bit of a solo at the end, but for the most part, it's just Candido on the conga on that. Interesting how that came to be, in terms of how that you don't usually see an album by another artist who doesn't feature on one of his songs, but I guess that was how that worked for that one. And then the closing song on the B side is called Blues for Skeeter. Really incredible song as well. Tommy Flanagan starts off kind of creating the melody, and then Kenny Burrell comes in for a short time, only maybe 20 to 30 seconds, and then Tommy Flanagan takes his solo for maybe a minute or so, minute and a half, and then Kenny Burrell starts into a little over 3-minute guitar solo. Really great way to end the album as well by him. And then Paul Chambers comes in after that on the bass, but instead of him kind of plucking the bass, which was very common at the time, and kind of continued. That was really the standard for playing the bass. Paul Chambers was one of the, or one of his kind of signature sounds was to actually play with the bow. So he bows the bass on that one, and just a unique sound to that. And then the track ends with them kind of coming back together, right back where it started. But yeah, just a really great album. Kenny Burrell has always been a very bluesy guitar player, even from the beginning. His this is his first Blue Note album, as I said at the beginning. Shortly after this, he'd have another one. I'm not positive on the number. It might be somewhere in the 1530s or 1540s. He has another album with him. It's this kind of grayish brown cover to it, and him standing up with his guitar. And I haven't heard that one, but that's actually going to be coming out as part of the Tone Poet series later in this year. I think it's September or October. That album is supposed to come out, so a great way to, I'm excited to be able to listen to that one. But his Prestige stuff that he does after this is some of the best, but really great. Again, great way to start off your Blue Note career as a leader, and just a great album. So this one was one of the first guitar jazz albums. Actually, it was one of the first jazz albums that I had gotten a few years ago when I started into jazz. I really enjoyed Kenny Burrell's sound on, especially like Midnight Blue, and then some of his 60s stuff, with like Prestige, and then also on, I think it would have been Cadet. Really enjoyed those, and so was glad to see this as being part of the Tone Poet series. That was actually also my introduction to the Tone Poets. Didn't know anything about them, just saw that this was an album that had come out, or had been repressed in 2019, and that it was mono, which is very rare for the Tone Poets. There's only a handful that have actually been done in mono, but there was no, this time 1523, when this was recorded in 56, there was no stereo, even for record labels like Atlantic that had some cutting edge being able to figure out a way to record in stereo. That was not a thing that Van Gelder was doing at that time, and so this had to be in mono. It sounds incredible, just like all the other Tone Poets that I have. Definitely recommend this if you don't have this. Blue Note 1523, introducing Kenny Burrell. If you enjoy guitar, make sure that you pick this up. A great session. So that'll be it. Again, thank you to Steven in the bass clef for allowing me to show that one. I have actually another one that I'll be doing shortly. It may come out maybe tomorrow or the next day after that. But yeah, so if you enjoyed the video, please think about liking and subscribing, and I will see you in the next vinyl video. Bye.